All right, guys, I got a joke for you. There was a Japanese director that was given the offer to direct a low budget romance movie, who the English translation was The End of Love and Sorrow. He said that he would only take the job if he could hire his good friend as the casting director, and the terms were agreed to. Upon meeting with his friend to discuss the potential actors, the director let her know that it was important for them to land an American actor with any kind of name recognition for a minor part at least, as the studio insisted this as part of their marketing strategy for the movie, which was pretty typical practice for this particular studio. The director indicated that the budget for the said American actor was expected to be half of the entire casting budget. So it's important that they got the biggest name that they could get, and they'd have to do the best that they could with the remaining budget, um, to hire the best Japanese, talent as possible. On the first day of the auditions, the director and the casting director met with Haruto and Yui Wong, who are a married couple in their mid-20s. They were auditioning for the roles of a married couple in the movie. The casting director loved their auditions so much that she offered them both a job on the spot and let them know to expect a script via email soon with additional details to follow. In the following weeks, the casting director was able to land a B-list American celebrity as the jealous husband of the woman who lives next to the man and his wife. Or said man and his wife. So the plot of the movie is a married man sleeps with his neighbor who is also married. And her husband, who is white, slowly pieces together that his wife is having an affair. And at the climax of the movie, he catches his wife in the act in his own bed, and he kills them both with a freshly sharpened cleaver, leaving a bloody, disgusting mess. That was like my kind of movie. So everything went perfect for the first week of filming. Cast got along, and everyone seemed to enjoy the director's laid-back approach to getting through the day and staying on schedule. So everybody likes a director. At least the studios do. So, but the problems, they started on week 2. Hurato's first love scene with this married neighbor was filmed. His wife in the movie, and his wife in real life, was on the set, and she was visibly and audibly upset the entire time. It was so bad that after the shot, the director met with Yui and stated that she could not be on the set anymore during future love scenes with her husband, which is understandable. So Yui felt embarrassed, and she went to the bar by herself after the shoot ended. She had many drinks, and she stumbled back to the trailers where all the actors were staying. Instead of going back to her and her husband's trailer, she knocked on the door of the American B-list actor. And he was a little confused, but he let her in, and she apologized for how she acted earlier and on the set, and she felt that she needed to personally apologize to him for this behavior. And he said that he understood, and he offered to make her a drink. She'd already had a few. He had a few. It was fine. So after a few more drinks, the American said he needed to go to bed. It's getting late. And Yui said she would like to join him in his bed. And she ended up staying the night in that trailer. But of course, Hiroto, he woke up, noticing his wife never came home. He called her phone. She answered her phone, and she said, "Oh, I was staying at a friend's house, and I was out and I had a few many drinks and I stayed at home at a friend's house. Blah blah blah. Okay, all right. Well, she says that they hang out. Yui gets out of the trailer. At the same time, Hiroto gets out of his trailer. She sees him. He sees her, and he says, "Did you stay at the Americans' trailer all night?" She said, "Yeah, I did." And Hiroto, he's furious. He's so mad. So mad. He just goes in the Americans' trailer, opens up the door, and he picks up the first heavy object that he could find, which is a mag flashlight. If you know what a mag flashlight is, that's what the cops have. That's the big heavy flashlight. Picked up a mag flashlight. And then he walks over to where the American was still sleeping. He proceeded to bash his head in with this flashlight. Just bashed it 3 times. Right in the face. Ambulance was called. Production was halted for 2 weeks. And luckily for the American, he lived. And he was eventually able to recover with only minor eyesight loss in his left eye. And of course, he was not able to finish his role in this movie, obviously. But during the 2 weeks of production, when it was halted, the director was hoping to find a way to finish the movie. It was not looking promising. Casting director, his good friend, she met with him. And she said, "What can I do? What can I do?" And he said, "I don't, these people are crazy. This whole situation's crazy. What are we going to do?" She said, "I don't know." And the casting director was desperate. And she went to visit with Hiroto and Yui. And she talked to them both, and Hiroto and Yui both told the casting director, she's like, "Oh my God, we're so sorry. We're so sorry that this whole thing happened. We're so sorry that any of this ever happened. And we ruined this movie, and we'll do anything. We'll do anything that we can do, and we know that we failed you." And they begged them, and what they told the casting director is, they said, "We'll forego our entire salary, our entire payment for this movie. We don't pay us anything. And if there's any way to salvage this movie, any way at all, don't pay us a single thing. You can use all our footage. We'll do anything else." And so the casting director said, "Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that you said that. It's extenuating circumstances, and nobody wanted this to happen. But I'll go talk to the director. I'll let him know that you're willing to forego everything that you would have made on this movie, and see what we can do, see if that helps us." And so the casting director, kind of knowing in her own head, she's like, "This probably doesn't matter, but whatever. At this point, what do I have to lose? I'll go talk to the director." And the next day, the casting director met with the director, and she relayed that Hiroto and Yui both said they would forgo their payment if there's any way to make up for what they had done. And the director replied, "I'm sorry, but 2 Wongs don't make a white."